Thank you for tuning in to the Miss Blue Radio Show. I have co-host Callie Girl in the building tonight. We're going to be doing our Ear to the Street segment and talking politics, Trump, Pence, just everything that's been going on. I will let you kick it off because this is your topic, and when you told me that you wanted to touch up on it, I really thought that was a great topic. So, what would you like to start off at?
Well, since you give me that kickoff on it, I'm going to score a goal.
Hey.
I just think with what happened should not have happened at all. People were killed. There's just so many like different aspects, and like I have so much to say. I have to get it off my chest. Like there's so much on that chest. I need to relieve that pressure because it was really upsetting.
Absolutely. How did you feel in regards to the security of the Capitol? And were you like really surprised that they were able to even get inside of the building like they were?
Honestly, okay. So as I showed you a lot of my Facebook postings and stuff like that, and you saw different mixed emotions, I think that they weren't ready for that, but they had a week ahead of time to be ready for that. You know what I mean? Like with there's different comparisons. I don't care what anybody says. There is a different comparisons compared to the Black Lives Matter movement. And then also with this movement, because they had the National Guard and everything in front of the Senate House. They didn't, the Black Lives Matter protesters didn't even go nowhere near that. They didn't even touch that compared to where the other side, they decided just to do what they want to do. And honestly, from what the videos I saw, I think there's some inside stuff going on. I hate to say it, but the proof is in the pudding, especially if you have officers, talking and taking selfies with these people.
Absolutely. And there was an article that I saw, and it said, Capitol police officer dies by suicide days after fellow officer was killed by rioters. Basically, there was an officer that was involved with this, and he did not want to be questioned, allegedly, and so he killed himself. I mean, but he's not the only cop. There were several police officers that they found out that were off duty that were involved in this. Do you feel like it was an inside job?
I do, especially if, I'm not here to like bash anybody, but when it's funny how when these people knew exactly where to go to in that building, they knew where they were headed to, and I've never been inside the building myself, but for the people to do inside jobs like that and being a part of the crowd, who knows what they could have told them or where people were at the time or place or their offices. We don't know.
Right.
But if you're working in that building, then, honestly, I mean, if you're going to be giving people insight of where things are and being a part of the crowd, it's not going to look good on you. And of course, when people feel that pressure, they're not going to want to have anything to do with it. So for that man to take his life the way he did, I mean, sorry, but, when you feel that pressure and you've done wrong, it's going to come back wrong on you. You know what I mean?
Wow. And I just got a piece of information while we're talking.
Ooh.
Yeah, you might as well say breaking news. This is news to me. HPD officer involved in U.S. Capitol riot resigns. Chief Acevedo says. Wow. That's a really big deal. So there are more than there are several cops. HPD?
Yeah.
No. I mean, what are y'all doing? But a lot of the times, like when we did have the Black Lives Matters protesters, and they were not protesting violently. Mm-hmm. They were shot with rubber bullets and gassed and all type of stuff. But not one time did you see anybody saying, fighting for them or saying like, hey, you don't have to use force. These are, they're not violent rioters. They're just fighting for justice.
Yeah.
These people were clearly not fighting for justice. Clearly. No.
They're calling it steal the vote from what I heard on the videos and the videos I watched, like stealing the vote. And it doesn't help if you have somebody playing their own Trump card and saying, they stole my vote. I won, and this person is already cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, if you know what I mean, so it's like, eesh.
It's pretty pathetic because I mean I'm in Texas and we're known for being southern rednecks. I guess you could say we bleed red. We've
Mhm.
always been a Republican state. I mean that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Um, I wouldn't say Houston, the city of Houston is. We've never gotten the analytics if Houston is more on the Republican or Democrat side, but I really think Houston as a city is more Democrat than Republican.
Yeah.
But with that being said, we are known for being a Republican state, and a lot of our governors out here have been advocating for Trump and saying and insisting that the election was rigged.
Hmm.
They are really backing that the election was stolen from Trump, and I just don't believe that. I really feel like people got tired of him and wanted him out. As you can see, I mean,
Yeah.
it was states that have never been Democrat, never been blue, and they turned from red to blue.
Yeah.
People are tired of you.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, like, like I of course, I hear people and see people what they post, like, oh, there's all these ballots that weren't counted for and all this other stuff. Hey, you know what? It happens every 4 years. Every 4 years, people. It doesn't get any different, but you don't see one side of the party crying about it and going to the Senate and overthrow the Senate like that. Especially
Right.
5 people getting shot. And then once I see who these people are, I mean, we had an Olympic medalist that was a part of the crowd. We had, the woman that got shot in the chest. I mean, I feel bad, but she served our country. I mean, you should kind of know what's going to happen if what you're doing, if there's not going to be any, consequences to your actions.
You know, it goes back to us when we had our talk a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
When you put yourself in a bad situation, you cannot play innocent, like I didn't know, or this should not have happened to me. Anytime you put yourself in a bad situation with bad influence around you, you can expect something bad to happen. And it's unfortunate that people died, but it's even more unfortunate that you took it upon yourself to go do something negative because you know that that's not right. I mean, there were people in there that had the zip ties,
He actually got arrested.
bombs.
Yeah.
I mean, that is insane.
Once I found out they had
Scary.
explosive, like, I don't care what people say, and I don't care what side you're on. If you're gonna go somewhere with explosives or any kind of weapon, you premeditated that, knowing what you're gonna go and do. So if they try to come and say, oh, well, I didn't know it was going to happen, then why did you have this stuff? And other people knew that, and I'm sure other people more know before them. Like, a lot of people are getting arrested now because a lot of people are ratting them out now. One of them was that one with the zip ties that you said. His ex-wife reported him. So it's like, ooh, hope he gave her good spousal support. But
right.
But either way, I mean, like you said, the conversation we had before, if you know what you're doing before, then you better take up the consequences you're gonna get. Because let me tell you, karma will get you back for that.
I mean, sure. you couldn't have thought though. You had to whenever they decided, hey, we want to raid Capitol Hill, Capitol. You had to have thought in the back of your mind, I could get shot. Security might, and they would have the right to shoot you. Mm-hmm. Because you're coming onto government property. Mm-hmm. That's trespassing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you had to have thought that in the back of your mind. That's why I feel like now that we're finding out that so many police officers were actually involved, it's kind of like these people felt safe. Do you feel like they kind of felt like they had the green light, like, oh, nothing will happen to me? Do you get the vibe? I do too.
Because how could they get see, as I said, they were unprepared for it, but they knew a week prior of what was going to happen, especially when, I won't call him president, I'll call him Trump for being impeached twice. The fact that, he's telling people, go stop the vote, go stop it. I mean, what do you expect to happen?
What happened?
That they should have been more prepared for something like that, especially if they knew it was being Twittered and all that other stuff. saying come to Washington. You have people flying away from Hawaii and like every part of like almost every state, So it's kind of like, what do you expect to happen? That's why I said as I said, comparison with the Black Lives Movement, and then also with this, it's like they're more on this one, on the Black Lives Movement protesters, than this side. But yet, as I said, people may agree to disagree, but I think that they were more like, as you said, an inside job kind of thing, knowing that, hey, nothing's going to happen to us because the president might pardon us. But yet he's trying to use his own trump card to pardon himself.
I definitely think, because someone told me that after he incited this rally or whatever, he jumps in his limo and drives off to safety. So he has his minions come and do the damage. So your so-called president put you in danger because he knew the consequences. He knew that somebody would get killed. There was, unfortunately, a police officer that is deceased now because he could not sustain the injuries that he got at the Capitol, and that's sad. I mean, it's a lot of people that were hurt, and no longer with us over something so crazy. So my next observation and question is, I'm kind of concerned for Biden and Harris' safety. Do you think they're safe after something like this took place? Do you think that, like, looking at their whole presidency, and they haven't even started yet, they got to January the 20th, are they going to be safe?
Honestly, with what happened, it wouldn't go past me. I mean, I would make sure they are prepared for anything to happen. Like, prepare for anything. Like, you better have the glass, whatever. Because you know what? It scares me because people, you don't want something bad happening to other people. But if people are willing to go into the Senate and, willing to like go after people and who knows, God knows what, thankfully everybody's safe, this is the Senate, but for the other people, I can't say for, but it's like, honestly, it wouldn't go past me. They better do all the stops to make sure that everyone's protected. But you can't stop everybody. That's the problem, especially if you have a president that's going to say, well, I'm not going to be there. And, blah, blah, blah,
right.
Hey, I mean, I think they need to have the highest security, the National Guard or whatever they need, and make sure everybody's peaceful and transition over everything politely. I don't know if you watch this thing on Twitter with Arnold Schwarzenegger, what he says. Now, this man's been hardcore Republican for all of his life. He was the governor of California. Hey, you know what? He did his thing. But for him to stand up and make the video, as he said, don't take the people's democracy away. I mean, that should tell you something. Don't, it's like that, like the way how he described everything, like, we got to be peaceful about it. Don't be like this. This is not our country, because now they think they'll overrun the Senate. What makes you think they're not going to overrun the White House?
I mean, that's really what's concerning to me, because it's like, if I was Biden, I don't even think I would want to stay in the White House. I don't think I would feel safe, because now that that was an inside job that took place at Capitol, then what make you think that he's going to be safe and it won't be an inside job and someone trying to do some harm to him, because they still cannot get through their head that Trump lost the presidency. So I'm going to go to a short clip. I'm not going to play the whole entire thing. News clip credit goes to CBS News, the National, and just kind of show you what we're talking about. If you, for whatever reason, don't watch the news, can't watch the news, you're getting it right here on the Miss Blue Radio Show with my co-host, Kelly Girl. Let's go to this news clip.
Let's go.
The Capitol siege last week was so disturbing, it's led to another takeover of sorts. This is the National Guard using effectively the same space as a staging ground. But ready for what and when? Trying to get ahead of the next assault is going to be hard because January 6th marked a shift. Are you worried?
Yes, I am. I am worried. I'm seeing actions and talk of things being planned.
So that's just them getting prepared. Not to mention there was a video clip, a news clip going around about a day ago, and some of them were asleep. And I was like, you better wake up. Like, why are you asleep?
No,
You
no,
know
no.
what I'm saying? What's going on? Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep after something like that, but clearly they still not ready. You know what I'm saying?
They were ready for the other movement, as I told you, but this, they're not ready for it. They may think they're
I don't
ready,
think
but they're
so.
not ready, you know. And I think they need to put all the stops to protect this new president by all costs. Like, you better stay awake. You better drink some of that high energy drinks and drink some caffeine. You know, drink that Mountain Dew. Do what you guys gotta do. You know what I mean? Because when this happens, there's gonna be a lot of problems. I hate to say this, but I already know this, and I feel it in my gut. You know, because yeah. As I said, whoever's watching you may disagree with me, but from what I saw last week, I mean, we got to be prepared for this turnover, and because anything can happen. It can be inside people. I mean, look, we had police officers. What makes you think? Look at, the people that serve the country. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying
Right.
everybody's involved, but look at some of them. The woman that got shot, she served our country, but she did what she did. And I don't wish on harm or anybody, but it's kind of like that makes you think a little bit more.
I mean, absolutely. I've said this from day one. I never liked Trump because he does not talk about the issues that American people go through. He does not call upon peace when he see things out of control. He never showed me that he was a good leader. And there are certain things that even sometimes it's not your business, right? But if you're the president, then it is. You kind of almost have a duty to get on that podium and say something because you have such a large influence. You saw Obama do it.
Yes.
Hell, you even saw Bush speak up on certain things that had nothing to do with the White House. When he saw everybody acting crazy, he would even say something like, get back in line,
Mm-hmm.
This man ain't never did that. It was always negativity and he was supporting it. He didn't care about police reform. I mean, it was sick. When he decided or thought it was not important to make cops have security cameras or cameras on their body cameras. That was a red flag to me. Mm-hmm. Why don't you want us to see what transpired before someone, especially, since there was a lot of Black people getting killed and shot for no reason by cops? Why wouldn't you want to see the transaction from beginning to end?
Exactly.
Because
that's
you
what it's there for.
that. That's why. Mm-hmm. You support that. And it's clear, especially with so many off-duty cops being a part of the conspiracy with Capitol.
Yeah.
They know he supports that. So like you said, it's possibly they thought, he'll pardon me. So about a night ago, you sent me a few messages. And I want to talk. Oh, girl. Yes. I want to talk about that because it was crazy. You showed me a lot of going back and forth in your stance on the situation. So let's talk about some of the issues on social media that you had to defend and some of the crazy comments that you saw. I mean, yeah, let's, talk about that. That's crazy. Yeah.
So basically, a lot of people, I just said it was a very sad day in America with what happened, because not only that, our children would have to see this, and I would have to sit down and talk to my children, showing that violence is not okay, especially for taking democracy away. You don't take it from whoever wins presidency. Hey, you leave it alone. They leave it alone. Just leave it as that. But with some of the comments I said, it was just basically there were, I'm not going to say any names, but some people thought that because I posted a woman that was there who said that she took a picture right in front of the Senate. Looks like it's less than a block away, and people are trying to boycott her store, which is like a 45-minute drive from my house, Sugar Shack. And basically when we said, hey, if you support this violence, we're not going to support your business. So a lot of people felt different about that on my Facebook. And I said, hey, you know what, if she's going to be out there, whether you're in the Senate or not, we don't know that, but for her to be out there supporting that kind of action is not okay. And you really think with what happened, you know, she should immediately said, hey, I don't support, or I don't condone this, you know, so, you know, I'm out here, you know, supporting the people in a positive way, not a negative way. Now, when she started receiving stuff on social media, she immediately came on, like on Friday, I believe, and said, oh, I left before anything happened. I was nowhere near the Senate. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
I love to look at pictures and, you know, identify things. You learning administration of justice is so did I. You look at the picture. The proof is in the pudding. And when you see what she says, she was long gone before they went to the Senate, whatever. But if you look at the picture, she's right. It's right behind her. So how could you be long gone from the situation? And there's the Senate building right behind you. I mean, if you're long gone, you'll be where President Trump gave a speech or whatever.
Right.
You're nowhere near that Senate. You have to walk over there. You know what I mean? So, you know, the story is really contradicting to me.
Mm.
And a lot of people are backpedaling as well when it comes to that, trying to save their businesses. Another big issue was being said was the fact that how the votes were stolen, and I will be dancing around with this one person, which you kept seeing that I was like, you know, dancing around saying, well, what does that give the right to what happened today? They're bringing stuff from the past, which has nothing to do with what happened at that Senate. It should not have happened. And yes, one person commented that, oh, well, if you could kick a dog so many times, hey, I understand that. You can kick a dog so many times, but you don't see them taking, you know, government buildings on your soil. You know, as I said, that's when the Black Movement Matter came into play. And I was like, well, how come they did this, you know, and then compared to this, you know? And honestly, I think it is a division amongst America, and people need to just stop and work together, Republican or Democrat. We don't attack our own buildings on our own soil, because you have these other people from other countries that are laughing at us, you know, thinking, hey, if they can't control their whole United States, well, now they're all discombobulated, or they can't get their things going. Now they can't take care of other business. So it leaves us out of, you know, harm's way, whatever it may be. But the matter of fact is that, to me, it's like, when I told people and showed pictures, hey, this is when the president said during the Black Lives Matter protesting, a poster I pictured, where it shows when the looting starts shooting for Black Lives Matter support. Now, I don't support that. You know, some things should not have happened, but yes, they have a right to protest. Yes, their voice has to be heard, just like they do. But you don't see them going over to the Senate, and, you know, 5 people were killed, and, you know, who, as I said, if the situation got worse, who knows what could have happened? You know, we don't know. But, you know, they were prepared more for one thing, which should not have been out of sorts compared to this one. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that are going to support the Trump with what he says, and they're going to follow it. Compared to people had to voice their opinion because of something that should not have happened to this gentleman, the way how he died. You know, and people protested in that matter because they wanted to be heard and to be created equally, and that their lives matter. But as I said, they were more, had the National Guard on this section on Black Lives Matter movement compared to this one where they didn't have it. Why not have it? And now I'm hearing conflicting stories. They said on my Facebook, oh, well, he called off the National Guard. Did he call off the National Guard? And the National Guard said they never got the call. But he was waiting for it. They were waiting for that call. And for you to drive off in your limousine and have some popcorn and think it's funny, it's not funny. And I hope he does not get pardoned, and he should not pardon himself. He doesn't have the ability to do it. And I think he should get federally charged like anybody else on American soil that trying to do terrorism on America. It should not be allowed at all. At all.
Absolutely. You made great points, because at one point in time, I am still surprised that I have a social media page. I was going in, baby, with Facebook and Twitter when it came to the Black Lives Matter.
Mm-hmm.
My chest have never hurt so bad. I'm serious. Like I thought I was going to have a heart attack last year. I couldn't take it. I could not take it no more.
Mhm.
My mom was just like, stay off of social media for a while, because it was heartbreaking, because clearly, unless you are just blind, you cannot possibly question why people were fighting for Black Lives Matters. And it wasn't just Black people.
No.
It was Hispanic people. It was
Yes.
white people. It was Asian people. Like, we're tired of seeing cops kill Black people. It's just, it's not something that we can make up. This shit was happening.
Yeah.
So they're protesting for a different cause. These people protesting because this man not the president no more. Where do they do that at? And that shit's okay. And for anyone that has a problem and still lack the intelligence to comprehend what the hell is going on in the USA, to see that there is a division, like you said, amongst race, you are extremely delusional. And I try to stay the hell away from people like that, because it's quite scary. So after so long, you can only deny the truth.
Yeah.
It's in everyone's face. And it's like you said, he demanded that the cops be out there to gas and shoot Black Lives Matter protesters. But the Capitol, he incited these people, though, to come out there and do that. It's such a double standard, but we see that. We've been saw that.
Yeah.
My thing is, and I said this a long time ago, with the exonerated 5, this is the same guy who still said after DNA came back almost 20-something years later, he didn't care. He still didn't feel bad for him. Maybe they did something else and deserve that. How could you say something like that?
And now he says, we love you. You know, I understand you. It's time to go home. You know, you didn't say that to the other protesters?
Evil.
Double standard.
But let's take it a step further. If you asked me who I felt like all of this should be blamed on, to me, it's everyone in the Senate and everyone in the Congress. They had the right the first time when they proposed for his ass to be impeached, and they didn't do anything, and they continue to let him be chaotic and just, crazy and delusional. And they could have stopped it a few months ago, last year sometime. I forgot what month he was impeached, but they didn't follow through. It's their fault.
I totally admit on that, because if you knew the type of person he was, and you guys see this person day in and day out, you guys did the right thing the first time, but they should have followed through, because then none of this would have happened at all. Once, I don't know if you saw that video when that police officer, the door was getting crushed on him. He was crushed and his mouth was bleeding, saying, help me, help me. It's a video. I hope you guys watch this, because
I don't think I saw it.
So basically, this police officer was caught between a door and the rioters, and they were just like crushing him, and he's like screaming for on top of his lungs for help, and the protesters just kept pushing. Now, if that was a different side of the spectrum of protesters, they would be shooting shots at those people, but they didn't. They were killing an officer, right? Like, I don't know if he died or not, or he got sustained serious injuries, but you see him getting crushed in the door or between two wedges, and the protesters kept pushing, but yet the police didn't shoot them, and they saw one of their own, because they're right behind him, getting crushed. I mean, it's just I'm lost for words.
I mean, it's again, we saw this. It's kind of crazy. It's like, you can't be that surprised. You really can't, because he's a loose cannon, but he's always been a loose cannon. This is nothing new. The man says whatever. He's crazy. He goes on the deep end. He gets mad. He throws a fit if he can't have his way. I mean, he called Pence. He told Pence, if Pence was, before Pence impeached him, because Pence had the power. He had the ball in his court. He could have told Pelosi and everybody, I want him impeached and sign off whatever. He said before he did, Trump allegedly told him, and I believe this, sources say, he said, you can go out like, a hero, or you can go out like a pussy if you impeach me. You can stand for what's right. Who talks like that? Who? It's obviously hence didn't impeach him. So what do you think? It's like the man has the craziest influence. Like y'all don't. Nobody around him does the right thing.
No, they don't.
Nobody. So you can't just blame him. Like everybody around this man is insane at this point.
I just think the way how, like, I guess when I read this news article that when he did that, when he rode away in the limo, that when they told him what was going on at the Senate, he looked like all happy and lucky. And it's like, what are you thinking? Like, oh, I'm gonna send these guys over here and let them do what they let them be scared for their life because that's the American way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I hate to do that impression, but it's just funny, I mean,
right.
But it's not the American way. And if you are really a true American, you would want no type of violence on that American soil, and people die for that matter. As I said, for people to listen to that thinking that's okay, it was not okay. I don't care what y'all say, because now we have to show our kids and explain to them what happened. Because my son came up to me and goes, Mom, can you believe this? And, they actually had a debate in class about it, to educate them, hey, this is what's going on and this is what's going on in the real world, and a lot of kids had a lot to say about it. These teenagers, it's like they had a mind of their own, and that a lot of them like, hey, that should not have happened. That's crazy. And they're adults. Everybody that were adults acting like, a bunch of heathens. I hate to call you guys that, but that's what you guys were.
Girl, this is exactly like they thugs. Like Pelosi said, they are Trump thugs.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the hell I saw. I have never seen somebody get mad because this not gonna be the president no more. Like he ain't did nothing for y'all to catch a case behind. Because what should happen? They should get their ass in trouble for anybody that died or sustained an injury at the Capitol.
I agree. 100%.
They should be charged with it. Manslaughter. I don't give a damn what it is. They should be charged with anyone's death because it would not have happened had your ass not have been up in there. I don't care. 89 years old, your ass need to be doing some time in the penitentiary because what are you thinking?
But that's the thing, they weren't thinking because of what this person said. Oh, go stop the vote. Go over there and tell them to stop. So what do you think is gonna happen? They're gonna follow you, but with the people that follow him, so basically if he tells all of them to jump off a cliff, they're gonna jump off that cliff.
They're gonna jump off the cliff, girl. They stupid.
Yeah. Die hard, die on jumping off the cliff. And if any Republicans are watching, you may say, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. Well, he kind of followed with what he's saying.
They would jump off that damn cliff. I mean, with the people, it's crazy that how many suicides have taken place since that.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to talk about, they don't want to give up. See, eventually, because what's in the dark comes all the way in the light. And they're going to find out that it was more than just police officers. Like, I really believe that somebody in the Senate, Congress, and one of them chairs gave people some information and told them, like, come do what y'all do.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Trump.
I mean, we know that he had something to do with it, but I think it's past Trump at this point. Like, they didn't have no security, like barely. I mean, they had that one black guy who was a police officer. I forgot his name, but I think I know. They were saying that he stopped a lot of well, they're not protesters. They thugs and rioters from coming in on some of the interns, like kids. Like Pelosi said, I don't know if I'm saying her name wrong, Pelosi, but girl, I'm just chopping up her name. But I like what she stands for so far. She's really been very outspoken in what she feels like should happen to Trump. And she doesn't seem to give a damn about anybody liking her or what she has to say about it. So she's the only one that right now that I have respect for. Everybody else, like, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's like, it's really gonna be very, very interesting come January 20th when Biden and Harris get into office. I mean, they have so many challenges up against them that I hope that I hope they don't age because
Right?
girl,
Yeah, they have a lot on their plate, but
it's just not fair. Yes.
they're being judged already before even serving the country. And that's why I said, you know, when all the other votes, when President Trump won, yeah, a lot of people didn't like it. You know, sorry, Trump, when he won, nobody liked it, but you didn't see anybody acting like thugs or, you know, behemoths, you know, whatever. We just said, hey, you know what? Let's see what he's got to show us for 4 years. And he said he made America great again.
He
He
showed
made
us a lot.
America hate again is what he did with that whole thing.
We brewed so much hate. Like, I have seen racism again. You know, I'm from Texas. People be like looking upside my head like I'm lying, but I've dealt with racism since I was so little.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, when he became the president, it was a different shift in the world. Like, it was like, never have I been places where they were like blatantly like in your face, just like I don't want to touch her. I don't want to be on the same, like going in a supermarket shopping and they don't want to get too close to you, act like, ew, you know.
Yeah.
He really, you know, he really just made the world shift like in a very disastrous way. When Obama was president, we didn't have that because he always preached what?
Yes.
Love. He always preached, don't treat him like that because he's gay. You know how he spoke on transvestites. Remember, it was a part in history and time where they were targeted and they were killed because they were gay. He spoke on that. He didn't have to, but he spoke on that. Your influence when you are a leader matters so much. Why people don't grasp that, I don't know, but he's awful. Like I said, he's gonna run America straight into the damn ground. I always say he was a good business person.
Yeah.
Before he ran for president, when I was CEO or hear about Trump, I'd be like, oh, you know, he's a great business person. You know, he's on his shit, you know. But when I found out he was gonna be the president, I was like, oh Lord, he's gonna run this country into the ground, because you can't run America like a bank.
Yeah,
you can't do that, you know. It just makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's just like when people like put out there, oh, he made America great, and I keep asking people, and you saw me put it out there, how did he make it great?
They won't tell you.
They could say, oh well, they'll dance around it. They will, and you saw that my Facebook stuff and how people danced around. I was like, okay, but what did he do besides cause hate amongst Americans? Besides having people attack, government buildings on American soil. I mean, that's a big thing. And that's why, like, I'm so, like, I don't know why, but, like, I just don't have a right feeling in my stomach, for, like, when they do the inauguration. Like, I don't have a really good feeling, because I just don't want nothing bad happen to Biden or Harris, And for people to prejudge them, hey, you know what? We prejudged all the presidents and their, vice presidents. Give them a shot and sit back and see what's going to happen. Now, the one thing I did want to touch bases on, like I did show you, I am not racist. I am not racist. I do not cause hate in America. No. Because some people, did send me some messages and stuff like that. But, all in all, it's like, as I told them, I have love for you, but I am not this. I do not have hate. I support the fact that we have democracy. And that people fought for this country so we have the right to vote and have democracy. And without that, there's nothing, And, for people to sit back and think that I'm that way, I am nothing like that. I'm Hispanic and I'm half white, and all Native American Indian, and I have all these different mixtures in me. And I am not the one to hate. I accept everybody as an equal to me. But when you start acting like that, I'm not going to treat you as an equal to me. And I will speak on it because I have that right and voice of opinion, and I have that right to say. And if anybody thinks otherwise, that's up to them, but I just want to throw that out there because I did show you the messages that I am not a hateful person.
Girl,
I am not.
I know you.
I'm not racist.
You're not hateful. You're not racist. And the messages that you show me, I be wishing that I had superpowers to go through the phone to do. Like, I can't, girl.
I know you're biting your lip. Y'all be like
I
can
was
just see
very my nerve, girl. I'm too young for my chest to be hurting the way that it do with all this shit going on. Like my chest be feeling like it's about to jump out of my skin because I get so angry. I'm like you said, we both found ourselves on the side of the. I don't want to say the law because I've never been a police officer, but we've taken criminal justice. I got my degree in it. You got your courses degree and things like that. We both are very passionate in terms of politics, crime, and things like that. It just bothers me that there are people that are okay with what's going on. And what I was telling you when I saw your messages, people like that, you just really got to block them. Because I don't want anybody to think shit like this is okay and have the audacity to, go behind it and be like, back it up. I don't even want you in my vicinity because you are toxic. You're past toxic. I can't trust you. I cannot trust you. If you saw something happening to my kids, you wouldn't say shit. You would look the other way. Those are people that you don't want around you. They don't have good intentions. So if I were you, I would start by doing a Facebook cleanse and just blocking those people that had those negative things to say. Because it's one thing to say, and I try so hard to not stop being friends with people for politics. It's one thing to say, I support him, I support them. But when you're talking about the things that he's done, that he should have took charge in, and he didn't, you're still backing him up saying, no, he's right. That's a fine line. Like, it's like, can I really be friends with you? Like, are you crazy? Like, delusional? Like, what is your integrity? I don't think you have any. You know?
Yeah, I think with me, you saw my Virgo side come out. You know me, and when something comes like that, comes at me in such a way, then, I come at it. But at the end of the day, as I told them, hey, you know what? I have much love for you. I've known you, whether I've known them for 4 or my whole life. I told them, hey, there's all love here, and that this is what Trump wants. He wants everybody to be divided. So why am I letting him win by causing conflict between us? So I had to really, put it out there, said, this is how it is. So let's not let it divide it any further,
Right.
And that's just how I feel about that. And, whether we make friends or, not be friends, that's their opinion. But being friends, you have to overlook that. And if you want to work as a nation, you're going to have to learn to work together, whether you like each other or not. That's just how it is. And that's the beauty thing about this country is that we all fighting for the same thing. That's the better for the country. But when you're divided, the way how everything conspired the way it did, then it's not going to get better. It's going to, you said, you knew Trump was going to run this place to the ground, and he did. But for more so, he really damaged this whole entire country on so many different levels that I know when they bring, Biden in and Harris, they can overcome that, but it's going to take time because everyone needs time to heal.
Girl.
I am worried about them. Don't get me wrong. I am really worried about them because there's always inside something. Everybody knows something, and they could take it upon their hands to do something about it. They brought explosives in there. I once I found that out, it's like, yeah, they had explosives on them in there. It's
but the zip ties, girl, that's the kidnap.
Exactly.
So who in the hell was gonna get kidnapped? What the hell was y'all gonna do with him after you kidnapped it? Like, what the hell is really going on? Like, I don't trust Biden and Harris being safe in the damn White House. I don't. I don't either. I have a really bad feeling. Like, I mean, I would have so much security, girl. You couldn't, girl. Woo, I'm talking about security. My security would have security, and then that person would have security. Because you can't trust nobody after something like this. You just can't.
You can't. Yeah. Especially
that was not supposed to happen at all.
Especially when they, especially when they got security and army. It's like, look, I mean, there's more things coming out every day of people that participated or supported what happened. And you're finding out these people, like one of them's a judge's son, one of them's Olympic medalist, one of them's, some people that serve the country are police officers. I mean, not everybody is bad. And I don't want to paint that image on certain people because you don't know. But if they make wrong decisions, it's going to make other people look bad in that area. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Absolutely. So, I mean, you're Biden and Harris. Where would you start? I know, girl. You turned your head like, whew, where would you start? Like, what would be the first thing you talked about? Like, they're up against a lot. What do you think is the first thing they should touch on?
I think the one thing they should touch on the most in this matter is how for everyone to have peace and no violence towards one another. That's the big issue that America is facing right now, is the division among people and nationalities. And everybody's hurting right now because of what happened. Like friendships are being affected and family members as well. But I think they need to touch on exactly the most recent events that happened, which is to have peace and not to be violent, and to have peace everywhere, no matter where you are, no matter what state you are, and work together to build up where we were when Obama was in office. Because back then, let me tell you, I wish it was more than just 4 years. I wish it was 10 years or 12 for that matter, with the way how he helped out the country. And then the next thing I think they need to work on is this COVID pandemic that has really hurt a lot of Americans. I know it affected people's jobs. It affected mine. It's affecting a lot of families, and a lot of families are crying for help in that matter. And that's something they need to really touch up on, because it's not getting better. It got worse. And the thing is that they need to really be on top of people to make sure people follow the rules, because they're not. And the hospitals are full, and it's like they really need to come down on that, so that way we can contain this, pandemic and then move forward from there. But I really hope that, they really sweep that White House out to make sure they're going to have trustful people protecting them, first of all, like do like a clean slate, like interview people, lie detector, whatever they got to do. Because as you said, I don't trust people anymore inside there as more than they should, and they should really reconsider that. But I just want them to fix everything to everybody to work together, no matter if you're Democrat, you hate this person, that person. Hey, we cannot be divided anymore. In order for this country to work, we need to work together, because we all of our fallen fathers work together to fight so we can live on this land free and have the rights to bear arms and freedom of speech and all that. And our fathers before us fought for that right. And they didn't fight for this to happen. The people that gave them their lives, they did not fight for this to happen.
It's chaotic right now, but I tell you one thing I would start off with, and I'm always with the shits, girl. So
here we go. I'm ready.
They need to have TD Jakes come pray for the White House, and they need to have somebody that do exorcisms. Because they need to take all them demons that man has. That man got some demons. Okay, no, I'm gonna just have to go on church on them. They need a really big, I don't want to say resurrection, but like they really need to go in there and have some prayer and get those spirits out. Because if they don't, and they just go in there right after him and don't do a cleansing, then those spirits will attach on to,
and they follow
everything. Yeah, I mean, the man, I feel like he's evil. That's what any house we've ever moved into, we've prayed and through holy oil and blessed the house. And that's exactly what, Harris, she black. So I'm sure somebody done told her, we need to bless your area and all that, because ain't no telling what type of demons he done left behind. I mean, let's just be real. This was fun to this man. My camera went out a little bit, but this was fun. He absolutely enjoyed this chaotic mess that took place. He purposely said that he was gonna start, do some crazy things or whatever if he didn't become the president. Remember, at one point, didn't he say he wouldn't even sign off on a stimulus until he knew if he won. What leader says that? Whether y'all choose me or not, I'm still going to make sure, it's still my duty to make sure America is in good hands. Whether y'all like me or not, I'm still going to cut the stimulus. People are trying to survive, and he still didn't care.
No.
So this, baby, they should be able to evict his ass.
He should have been gone a long time ago when the first impeachment went through.
Girl, that's what I said. I blame it on Senate and the Congress, and they need to be investigated because they probably have a lot to do with what happened in Capitol.
I wouldn't put it past me after what happened and what we're hearing. And I'm sure most definitely, you best believe it, we are going to hear more stuff that's going to come conspiring after what happened, especially after this conversation we have today. You know? There's just so much more. Like it's still being a written book. It's being written. It's not closed the book yet. It's still an open book at this point. But
yeah, it definitely is.
I just really hope that they do bless that house, though. That bad juju. I hate to say it, but that's bad juju right there.
Girl, they need to go travel to New Orleans and get one of them witch doctors, good old witch doctors. They got them, and come out there and pray. And because I'm telling you, it's just, I believe in that. I believe in spirit attachment. I believe in your spirit not being aligned in certain situations. And I really believe that he had a bad spirit about himself. And so we will see as this unfolds. We did good, girl. We did so good. I'm gonna be excited because we're going to, of course, next Thursday air this on Roku.
Okay.
Roku TV. So, and if you guys don't have the Roku device, you can always go to grindcitybiz.com and you'll be able to listen to the show there as well. Just search in the browser Miss Blue Radio Show, and you'll be able to check it out. If you would like ad space on my TV show, you can always email Miss Blue Radio Show yahoo.com. And Callie, it's always great conversing with you. Thank you so much. I'm glad you are now a permanent co-host.
Yes, I'm so happy for that. I can't wait for our next hot topic for us to discuss more about.
Yes. You know what? I have a co-host and he's talking about, did I get fired?
No, you just got replaced.
Virgos.
I'm gonna file my unemployment right now.
You file your unemployment. I'm not paying you shit. You know what? He bringing out the worst in me. No, you know, but
you need a little spice.
Yeah, you know what? And he gets it too. He a Scorpio, so he come with that bullshit too. It's cool.
He hasn't met this Virgo.
It's a great blend though. But you know what? I hate it when they made y'all water sign. I think they should have kept y'all fire. I hate it when they did that.
I know. I don't know if you saw the thing I posted on promoting this. Is I put fire and ice.
Oh my girl.
The sign.
Yes. I have really tried to do a lot better because I remember at one station I would really be going off and they would tell me like, damn, we're gonna have to censor your ass. Or they would tell me, before you say anything out your mouth, can you say that our views is not yours? Because girl, I will go in. So I'm really
you have to go in hard sometimes.
Yeah, some stuff I just be like, she did what?
And I think that's part of my problem being a Virgo. I just go all, you know how I get. You see how I can get. And I can't help that because when I fight for something I believe in, I will fight it till the end. You know, and that's why it's so hard for me to shut up sometimes.
Girl, don't feel bad. Try talking to your husband. Yours might do this too. And I'm just like, He like, why are you mad? I'm not mad. I'm just a passionate person when I talk. Like, damn. I got that bad. I do not be mad. I really don't be mad, but I be passionate. I'm all into it.
Oh man, that's what gets me in trouble sometimes though.
I'm here. I'll be like, you know what? I am kind of going off. Let me, okay. Let me chill a little bit. But you know what? I really appreciate you. I told you from day one that you had a knack for this. Mm-hmm. So I'm just excited to see what we're going to be talking about the next time the next time around. So thank you, Callie. Thank you for everyone that tuned in. We actually had some people really tune in. The last episode we had over 300 something views.
Yes, I was really surprised with that. I was like,
Me
oh my
too.
goodness.
I was just like, you know what? That was a good story for some people that never heard that story. That was crazy.
Hey, fuck that. Y'all gonna
But
y'all gonna be hearing from my goddamn Warriors tomorrow.
Oh, don't be jealous. It's okay. You can go cry. You know, I mean, if I struck a nerve, I probably struck that little nerve and little boing to it.
He is acting so crazy. But look, I'm gonna get off of here, and again, I'll send you the link to promote it, and it will be on Roku next week. Shout out Grind City Bay, doing a thing in PA. Happy to be a part of Grind City TV network, and y'all stay tuned. I mean, the show is only gonna grow and get bigger and better. 2021, big things happening.
Big time.
All right. Well, thanks, Callie.
Thank you, Miss Blue. I love you and much love for you.
Same to you, Shirley. Bye.